Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. It's your boy Mike. We're coming at you on another Thursday night. We are not live. We decided to record this episode the day before, so Wednesday, just because we got Hurricane Milton coming through. That's going to impact Florida. So I'm not 100% certain what my power and my light situation and my internet situation going to look like tomorrow. So we went ahead and recorded this today. We got the homie Dre, the Snake Gawd himself. We chopping it up. It's always good to chat with the homie, man. Got a chance to meet him in person a couple times. Actually traveled to his hometown. I had to get there for work one day, and we got to chop it up and hang it out, man, on some real fellowship type stuff. You know what I mean? So always good kicking it with the homie, man. We stay in contact all the time. He's a wealth of information. You see his stuff on social media, so you know he's doing his thing there. But yeah, man, definitely super dope to get the homie on the show. Before we get into the show, obviously we want to handle some things, so let's take care of these housekeeping items. Where can you find us? You can find us on Morph Market. Make sure you check us out on Morph Market. We actually starting to hatch some clutches right now, so in the very near future, we definitely gonna have some stuff getting uploaded on Morph Market. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Instagram, you can follow us at Herp Collectors, and you can also follow us at the Herp Collectors Network, your premier reptile network. Also follow us on Facebook at Herp Collectors, and also check us out on your favorite audio podcasting platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, whatever your favorite major podcasting platform is. You can find Clutch Conversations as well as our other shows on the Herp Collectors Network. You can find them there, so definitely check them out. And when you're checking us out on your favorite audio podcasting platform, please be sure to follow, rate, and review. It really helps us out. We appreciate the love and we appreciate the support. Speaking of support, make sure you're supporting both USARK and USARK Florida. The link for both organizations are in the description of this video. So definitely, man, if you can, drop your donation, get your membership, do what you can, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. It's so important to support both of these organizations because they're out there fighting the good fight, helping protect our rights as reptile keepers. This is, if you like me, man, this is something that I love. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, and definitely don't want to take these beautiful things away. So definitely we need support, all the support we can get. So make sure you're supporting USARK and USARK Florida. Big shout out to the sponsors as well. We're going to kick this first set of sponsor videos, and after that, we'll be right back with the show. Unlock a world of exclusive content with KINOVA's Patreon, your gateway to mastering the ball python business. Stay ahead of the curve with insider info on the latest genetics, hot new combos, and market trends. Learn from the best, getting guidance straight from the world's leading ball python designer. Be the first to see exclusive Morph ID videos that showcase some of the hottest hatchlings in the game. Memberships are currently available, so make sure you're the lucky person that takes advantage of that. Step up your game. Join KINOVA's Patreon today.
Art comes in many forms. At Armless Angels, it comes to life. In life, success doesn't come to you. You go to it. In this game, forward thinking is the key to innovation and staying relevant. Plan your work and work your plan. Lose yourself in the art. Lose yourself with wetter morphs.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no damn answer. Just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Hey, what's up, bro? How's it going?
What's going on, man? Good.
Man, always good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So what you been up to lately, man? It's been a minute, man. Since we got to chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously like the text and whatnot, but chopping it up, man. It's always good get a chance to chat with you, bro.
Right. Yeah, it's been busy over here. As you know, I moved all my snakes to my own little building, so I just been working on that. Taking care of the animals, making sure everybody's cool, working on upgrades. I got a couple enclosures actually coming tomorrow. So yeah, just been trying to grind, man, get it out the mud.
You got to, man. You got to. You gonna make it to Tinley?
Not this year, not this October. You know, all my money and my time is tied up into this building, so I just decided to just take a break from that. But I will be back next March.
Nice. So talk about the building a little bit, kind of like what went into that and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So it's I call it a building, but it's like it's a utility shed that I converted into a reptile building. So obviously keeping reptiles in here, I had to get it insulated. I did the flooring, the drywall, and everything. I did myself, and it took me like 3 months to get it to where I can put animals in it. At least it was just to my standards, but it's definitely not cheap, but well worth it. When you break down because my animals were in, I was using like an office space. I was sharing it with my brother, and it just wasn't working out as much anymore. So now with this building, it's just a lot easier for me to be able to control things as far as who comes and goes, temperature, and everything like that. But been a process, but definitely worth it.
You feel like you got everything dialed in, or you still tweaking it some?
A few small things. I know like lately the temperature is finally dropping here in Ohio, so I have a heater running on a timer right now, so that's what I've been using just to make sure like the temperature in here stays fine, but I just want to keep it that way. But that's until I get my my AC unit installed actually this weekend, so that's been working good. But once I get that on, that's like the last step, the final step that I needed to get done. And then after that, I got all my electricity done. I got my cameras in here. I got Wi-Fi in here, lighting, obviously. So everything is literally just about to where I want it. And then once I get done with that, it's really more so just about getting everything organized, because I still got stuff everywhere, and not everything is in the final spot. But for the most part, the bulk of it is done.
Nice. Yeah, man. I know it's definitely an endeavor, like moving all your stuff and then getting everything dialed in, getting everything organized the way you want it. I know last year this time we had moved like all of our stuff to like a little building or whatever. And like that was a whole process, getting everything packed up, getting everything labeled, making sure we could transport like everything safely. And then once you did get everything over here, then setting everything up how you need to have it set up, getting all the temperatures dialed in, getting used to the new room you in, right? Because we spent some time getting our old reptile room like set up and dialed in, and we finally had everything like exactly where we wanted. And then it was like, let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? And every like building or space or whatnot, it's got its own like little nuances and things you got to figure out and what works, what doesn't. So
you got to reset. You got to especially if it's a bigger space or smaller space, you got to think about because a lot of people don't realize with reptiles that the temperature literally to like 5 degrees can make a huge difference, especially depending on what kind of animals you're working with. So you got to be able to account for that. And then I didn't have no help, so I moved all of my snakes, all of the cages by myself. Me and I had to get a truck, a truck. And literally me and I got 25 snakes, and some of them isn't 8-footers. So I literally like I had one cage. One of my cousins helped me move over here, but it was me and a dolly, and then the room that they were in was up 14 steps. So.
Oh wow, yeah, that's some work.
And even then, the truck was an SUV, so it took me like 3 trips to get everything over here. It was a lot of work. I was frustrated, but it was worth it. It's one of those things where it's like the grit, the grind that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of us don't talk about. And a lot of people always ask me like, "What's reptile keeping?" I tell people all the time, 80% of what I do is maintaining and cleaning cages and the animals. 20% of what I do is actually dealing with the animals, like the videos and the pictures and stuff we post for fun. That's part of that 20%. But everything else outside of that, like cleaning cages, ordering rats, and making sure they got clean water and bedding changes and pull a boot. That 80%, the stuff we do daily, that's the bulk of it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, man. I kind of liken it to like the tip of an iceberg, right? So you see the tip of the iceberg, and so you see that piece, but what you don't necessarily see is like all this under the iceberg, this deepest, to the ocean floor and whatnot. That's a lot that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? That's like the foundation. That's the 80%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. How your calves was feeling after walking up them steps that many times?
Calves was man. It was my thighs, bro. I play fullback back when I played football. So I was like, oh God. And then in the middle of that, so it's May, so it was still kind of hot here. I ended up I was doing the floor like this. So this was even before I moved the snakes in. I'm doing the floor and I got sick and I didn't know what I had, but never in my life had a nosebleed before. Like nose was bleeding and everything. So I ended up going to like the emergency room and they was like, you got a sinus infection. Like you got to chill out. I was dehydrated because when I got a project, I got a one-track mind. It's to get it done. And then, I was kind of on a time crunch because honestly, had I not bought this building or came with this idea, I was going to have to sell my snakes. And that's not what I wanted because I didn't have nowhere else to have them. You know what I'm saying? And, prepping for winter and everything. So it was stressful. So I think that's kind of what brought on that sinus infection. I was overworking. Plus, I work a full-time job. So I was doing all of that. And then, once I felt better, came back out here, got sick again. So I literally had to take a full week where I was just on fluids, didn't get up out of bed, worked from my laptop. And once I actually felt better, they gave me antibiotics the second time, and I was cool. So, yeah, it was when they say blood, sweat, and tears, it was meaning. Because there was one day, boy, I threw some tears out. I was putting the floor down, and my daughter came in here, and I turned my head, and my head was still swinging, and the mallet caught my thumb, and I was yeah. So it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for sure. But like I said, to be able to see everything that you put together from start to finish come to fruition, and you see like that vision, is dope. And like I said, it's worth it. Like I got everything automated. My cages are all on smart timers and everything. Control everything from my phone, even the AC unit I'll be able to control from the phone. And like I said, I don't know if got a little camera up there, so I'm able to, like, if I'm out of town or away, if somebody gets loose, the cameras will alert me. But the beautiful thing is there's no way they can get out of this building. So even if they get out of their enclosure, there's only one door, and that door ain't no cracks or anything that they can get out of. So I'm super grateful for that. So just a lot of the little nuances that you don't think about, I really wanted to think about going into this building because it's like it's one less thing that I have to worry about on a daily. So it was worth it for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. It's definitely well worth going through all that, to get everything set up. Like I definitely been there before, like going through something that was hard, but when you're on the other side of it, you're like,
right.
Yeah. And that other side of it is gonna last much longer than like the temporary, like going through it.
Right.
So you mentioned 25 snakes. So talk to us for those that might not know, like what all you keeping these days.
Yeah, mostly. Honestly, what I keep is constrictors, large constrictors, so berms, retics, boas, anacondas, blood, white lips, carpet pythons. I think that's pretty much it. I do have a few lizards. I have a few that I haven't moved into the shed yet because, like I said, I got upgrades coming. Once I get those upgrades put in place, I can move some of them out there. But I do have a yellow-headed Asian water monitor or Varanus coming eye, rhino iguana, Gila monster, and beaded lizard. So just I'm all over the place, a little bit of everything. But for those that don't know me, I like to deal with the animals most people are steered away from, or most people will tell you don't start with that. I'm definitely heavily into the more advanced species. So yeah.
What led to that mindset for you?
I think so. I used to be. I don't even think I told you this before. I used to be terrified of snakes when I was younger. So
No, I don't
back
think
when I
so.
was yeah. So back when I was a teenager, it was just something about them. And honestly, now I know it's just I didn't what I know now I didn't know. So my fear was misinformation. It was induced by misinformation and what I thought I knew about them. So obviously, what led me to get over my fear was I was bit by a 4-foot Dumeril's boa, and it hurt, but it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. As bad as I thought it would. So I did more and more research. At the time I lived at home, my mom was like, "No snakes." So I got into bearded dragons, and then I was going by Midwest dragons, Midwest beardies, then Midwest dragons, and I started breeding bearded dragons. And once I moved out, I was researching snakes, and the one snake I kept coming back to was a blood python. And I read everything about how they're so defensive, how they're so aggressive, how they're so crazy. When I got Kato as a baby, he was definitely typical baby snake, a little snappy, a little hissy. But I mean, it's he's 6 years old now. I've worked with him. He's the first snake I ever bought and popular on YouTube. Seeing again, even with the shed, seeing it go from start to finish. When you see that finish point, it's worth it. And a lot of people know that I'm not a huge fan of ball pythons. I've had ball pythons, but after keeping them, I'm just like, okay, it was cool, but I know it's not for me. And I've always just kind of been into the larger species. I've always liked how, like, berms are my favorite large snake. So I just love how berms get big, but I like how they move. They're usually, not always, but usually pretty chill, pretty laid back. I love, some of their morphs and everything like that. And of course, you can't have a berm without having retics. I'm team berm all day, but I do enjoy retics as well. So I've just kind of always just, since I wasn't able to, get snakes when I was younger, I've always just kind of wanted all these snakes. So over time, I just kind of accumulated more and more. But as I accumulated more, I had to accumulate more space and make sure that I could comp for that as well as care for them properly. So,
Gotcha. So earlier when you said you got bit by a Dumeril's boa, like once you started your sentence and you were saying I got bit, I thought you was gonna say something like a snake that you like find like on the regular. But then you said Dumeril's boa. I was like,
worked at a pet store.
How did that happen?
So when I was when I graduated high school, my first job at a high school was a pet store. It was like a mom and pop pet store. And again, I was terrified of snakes. But one day a customer asked they wanted to buy the Dumeril's boa. And again, I knew nothing compared to what I know now. And this Dumeril's boa was like 4 foot already. So I reached my happy ass hand in there and grabbed it, and he bit me. And I was like, oh shit. But even when he bit me, my immediate response was to just stay there, because it was a bite and let go. So it was a feed response, and I was still able to pull him out and everything. And I bled a little bit, and the lady, she saw him bite me and I was bleeding. And of course that turned her off, but I was more so stunned because she didn't realize I had hit like a milestone. Like it was like instantly that fear went away. And then I was able that snake ended up selling like the next day. But it's one of those things where it's like, once you face your fear and you're like, damn, it really wasn't that bad. That's exactly what it was. It was like a light bulb moment. And I just started doing more and more research, actually educating myself on what was and what wasn't. And to my surprise, a lot of what I thought I knew about snakes wasn't true.
Yeah, I went through the same thing, man. I ain't gonna say I was scared, but I ain't messing with snakes. Not at all, man.
That's me with rats. I ain't scared, but I don't mess with them like that.
You better stay over there.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like my old roommate, man, he had 2 snakes like back in the day, man. And I was just like, man, as long as you keep them over there, we good. But just keep them over there. And ironically, he had ball pythons, but this was like 1999, something like that. Right. So it was a lot different than the ball pythons I see today. And it's funny, man. Like I tell this story a lot, but when we first got in, I saw somebody like feeding their retic on social media. I was just scrolling down randomly, like this was like during COVID and whatnot. And so I started thinking about like my roommate that I was just talking about, how he had snakes, and that got me looking into ball pythons. I was like, man, these don't look nothing like the snakes that he had back in the day. And so just started going down that rabbit hole, and here we are today.
Pretty much, you research and find what's right for you and go from there. And it's funny because it's not something I planned on. I'm like, damn, I want to have a building with just nothing but snakes. But it's like once your passion for a certain thing grows and you look and your vision for it changes and what you can possibly do and how you can impact a certain community or hobby, you like, dang, I could really do this. And then like you said, COVID, we all kind of had to tap into our side hustle, so it was just like, that was when I got on YouTube and started doing the content creation. And I never thought I would be a content creator or anything like that. It was literally just me documenting my reptile journey. And I happened to meet a bunch of dope other, reptile enthusiasts. And here we are.
So talk about kind of like the evolution of you as a content creator.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but I think I definitely started off one as more of like I watch a lot of my old videos. I leave them up for a reason. Most people are like, I took mine down, I'm ashamed. I'm not, because it was my starting point, and it definitely played a huge part in how I do my content now. Like you can definitely see like even how my productions are. It's a huge difference. I started with like an iPhone 10 on a stack of books, sitting down at a table, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of, hello, my name is, you know what I'm saying, and it just kind of, it turned into me being somebody or something that I wasn't. I thought I was, trying to, like, I was too busy trying to be like those other, YouTubers and pet tubers, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is the right fit for me. Like it did well, but I didn't feel like I was staying true to myself. So although I was still, making the content, I would just make subtle changes here and there. Oh, snap. Okay, cool. Just switch up what you're wearing. You look like a student teacher. Like, because I would literally come home.
You're not a student teacher.
Like, literally, I would. The one thing that I can say is family is going to be brutally honest with you. And I would come home and my family would be like, "Why are you gonna do that?" Because I work in the office. I'm in corporate America, of course. So you got your attire that you can and can't wear. So I'm always wearing button ups, and I got on some slacks and some off brand like little like dress shoes or whatever. So it's like a lot of the videos, if you go back and look, that's what I'm wearing, or a polo or something, and I would make my videos straight off the clock. And I felt like it was just, I felt a little too uptight, and it started coming out in my videos, and people would leave comments like, "Hey, I love your content, but loosen up a little bit." And at first I was offended, and then I would start watching. I was like, "Damn, they're kind of right." So, that's when I tell people, it's like you find your YouTube identity, you get comfortable, and you find what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So I think that's when I learned to stop trying to be like everybody else, stop trying to do what everybody else is doing, because that's already up there, and be you, bring your own flavor, do your own thing. So, that's when, I started getting more into like the branding and the merch and just doing things a little bit more and just trying to switch up my style of videos to try to figure out what works for me, because it's always changing, honestly.
Facts. It's funny that you say that, like, about being yourself and whatnot, because really at the end of the day, like, that's all it is. Like, you kind of go on this journey to like find your voice, find your persona and whatnot for your content, but really it's you. And you just find a way. Yeah, you don't realize it. You just find a way to comfortably be yourself for the purposes of making content. But at the end of the day, it's just you. You know what I mean?
And it's very profound when you realize it. You know what I'm saying? When you like,
exactly.
Oh, like I didn't even think of it, because like I said, I look back and watch those videos. I don't get upset. I'm just like, okay, that's good. That, like I said, that got me here. But I don't think people understand how powerful it is to be able to decide to become a content creator and go through all the changes to get to that point where you feel most comfortable at. Because even now, you know what I'm saying, like with the whole and wearing the grills and everything, there's a lot of people that hate it. But I'm just like, but that's the thing. Y'all liked it when I was catering to what y'all thought I was. But once I actually relax a lot more and be who I am, then it is what it is. Because not everybody gonna like it, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's totally okay, man. You got to find your tribe and vibe with them.
Facts.
Yeah, man. I was talking to some people at AnimalCon like just this past weekend, and actually, real quick, shameless plug, we will have like a kind of a breakdown about AnimalCon. Me and the homie Robin from Redline Shipping, we're gonna sit down and talk about AnimalCon sometime in the next week or so. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so as far as like talking to folks at AnimalCon about like their journey, just like in regular conversation and stuff like that, a lot of people like said like some of those same things, and it was a recurring thing about like finding themselves and just really getting comfortable with being themselves. And
Right.
it was so important, you know what I'm saying, to be authentic, you know what I mean? And that's super powerful. And like you say, it's definitely eye-opening and whatnot. When you kind of like come to that realization and you kind of get in that space to where you're comfortable being yourself, you know what I mean? And like for me, I start wearing like the button downs for the show. Like if you notice, like every show, like I wear the button down, but that's just who I am. Like my homies used to laugh at me like back in the day, like, man, you always dressed up like you going to church. But like I just one of the things I rock. Like I like to rock the
Right.
collar shirt, you know what I'm saying? And so that's me, you know what I mean? Like I'm like professional, but at the same time, I'm chill, you know what I mean? And so like that's what you see, and like this is how I feel comfortable. And you just gotta be yourself at the end of the day. Another thing that they talked about is like going back and looking at their old content and how they also refuse to delete it. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel cringe about it, but it's also rewarding at the same time to see that journey. You know what I'm saying? Because that's beneficial to be able to look back, see, hey, I started here, and then now look at where I am. You know what I mean? Like my audio is better, my video is better, like this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, I think another thing to point out is I don't ever want people to give anybody the impression, because I'm not big on YouTube. I'm at like 6,000 subscribers, which is cool. Thankful for it. But I don't ever want anybody to think that I got that overnight either. So I like I started back in 2018. I'm not just going to have videos from 2024 and up and have people think, oh, he's growing fat. No. I've been at this for a while. But my fault is I'm not consistent enough. So my growth has been, kind of staggering. So that's going to change here real soon. Now that we're in our own space and everything. But again, I think it's just important to be able to appreciate where you started from and not where you're not necessarily where you're finished, but where you're going. Got to enjoy the ride. So I definitely am thankful for it. Like I said, I look back at who I was and I'm just like, cool, can't go back there. Cool. But we're going this way now. So
yeah, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it.
It's definitely a process.
I'm standing on your shoulders.
Like a big thing I didn't necessarily talk about is speaking in front of crowds used to terrify me. So when I tell you I came home from work one day and I literally turned on my phone, recorded the video on my phone. That way, if I didn't like it, I would just delete it. And I ended up just uploading it. And I got a decent response to that first video. So once a week, post another one. And it was one of those things where it's like I made so many errors in a lot of my like older videos. I still make some now, but I made some of those rookie errors. Like I didn't know how to segue into different topics. I didn't know how to be in front of the camera. I would stutter or say and it's like it's things that they're not. It's nothing huge to worry about, but when you look at some of the other creators, you're like, dang, like I want it to flow better. I want it to look better. It was stuff like that I tried to focus on it so much, not realizing that naturally it's going to come on its own the more you do it. So to anybody out there that's trying to get into the social media, don't beat yourself up. Just focus on the message you're trying to put out there and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, man, you just got to take the reps, man. I still learn stuff like all the time. I do feel like I'm better than when I started, like at doing this, but I still feel like I got so much farther to go. You know what I mean? And it should be that way. Like if I'm still doing this 20 years from now, I should still feel like I got so much more room to grow at the end of the day. If you want to get better, otherwise you get stagnant, and get bored, all that good stuff, and that's not where I'm trying to be with it.
When you feel like you've learned everything, you don't enjoy it anymore, and I think the beautiful thing about reptiles is if you're doing it right, you're gonna learn a lot from them too, not just from reading, but just being able to experience hands-on with that animal, you're gonna learn quite a bit. So that's why people are like, hey, I need advice, like I want to do some research. Best research I can get, you can Google, you can read, you can look at care sheets all day. Best advice I can give you is to go get experience. This is literally one of those, one of those hobbies where experience is literally the best teacher because these are living creatures. So they're gonna keep evolving and keep changing. There's certain information that we thought we knew about them that is gonna keep changing. So, yeah, just being able to experience that, even from something like a leopard gecko, there's still things you can learn about them. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely an enjoyable experience.
Heck yeah. So was the shift from DW Exotics to the Snake Gawd part of like that coming into yourself?
No, so that came, years because that I literally that was what, like a year or two ago?
Like a year or two ago, yeah.
Yeah, so that was more so I felt like everything that I've ever, like when I came up with the whole DW Exotics, stay exotic, be yourself, I started feeling like I was being repetitive and I was starting to just blend in with everybody else, which isn't what I wanted to do. So, I'm scrolling through Instagram one day and I kid you not, it's just exotics. Everybody's name had exotics in it. And I spelled it the way I spelled it to try and stand out because, I'm a growing, platform. So I'm really, or growing, page. So I'm really just trying to pull more people in, be different. What am I doing? Like basically, if I'm doing what this person is doing, what's going to stop them from going, what's going to stop them from not coming to my page? I want them to come here, look at, follow me and meet more people that way. So it was one of those things where I wanted to switch it up and have a handle that isn't associated with any other page because it was that, but also, as well as I know, a lot of people got me confused with GP. You know what I'm saying? So,
big shout out to the homie.
Yeah, big shout out. But it wasn't just GP. There was like a few other, people that had lots that people would confuse me with. And GP didn't have exotics in his name, but these other ones did. And I was just like, I didn't take offense to it until it became a running joke. Because then now I'm just like, okay, we're all Black creators. We're all trying to do our thing. I feel like it takes away from what we're trying to do because they're just going to get us confused. And I didn't want that. I'm trying to actually, be serious about what I'm doing. I'm taking my time to make content and put all this together. And people are going to assume, when I go to, conventions, hey, it's so, and it's not me. So I wanted something that would not only stand out a little bit better, but represent me a little more. I know a lot of people don't like the that I have God in my name, but it's not what you think, obviously. And that's one of those things where not everybody gonna agree with it, and you just got to keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely didn't have anything to do with like the me trying to coming into my own or anything. That was more so just, I guess, more of like just a business decision to try to push my account a little bit more.
That makes sense. That made perfect sense. I still remember Tinley like 2 years ago when we took that picture with me, you, and GP.
I still got that picture.
Hey, that was funny as hell. I had a good time with that, man. I had a great time with that.
I'm gonna have to repost that sometime soon. Little Spider-Man for sure. I think we had a couple copycats too, try to recreate it. I was like, But, yeah, that was a good time. That was the
Tinley 2022.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, it was 2022. I was gonna say that might have been the last Tinley I've been to, but that's not. I was there October of last year.
It's the last one I've been to, and definitely got to get back like ASAP pronto. It's like the stars want to align, but we'll make it work for sure, man.
For sure.
And speaking of the homie Gershon, man, that's the homie, man. I really appreciate like everything he did because he a big part of the reason I got started. Like I kind of always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to get started, but I was procrastinating on it. But he kept pushing, man. He kept pushing. So big shout out to him, man. That's the homie for real.
For sure.
So talk about like you touched on this a little bit, but really kind of talk about like how you go about like planning like your videos and stuff like that? Because a lot of the talk that I heard like this past weekend was about like telling a story, right? So you kind of go into it knowing what story you're trying to tell, and then
Right.
you kind of structure your video around that story. So talk about your process for content creation and how it works for you.
Yeah, so for me, that's the one thing that I feel like I'm not great at is planning my videos. Um, and I've tried so many different methods from using the scripts to just kind of writing down notes and everything like that, and it was just something that didn't really work for me because when I read from a script, I felt like a robot. I didn't feel
Yeah.
like the information I was putting out was genuine. So, what I do now is I really do I really try to do my best at trying to. Of course, I research everything usually weeks in advance because I do have all of my topics in my phone, and I just kind of, basically I look at the videos that I have, come in here and look at the animals, and that's typically how I make my decision on what video that I want to do. But as far as like recording and everything, depending on what type of video it is, which is like a care video, obviously that one you kind of have to make sure you got your notes and everything because you don't want to put out misinformation. But if it's like just like a typical vlog, I just speak from the dome, and honestly, I try to give the real, and I don't want to sugarcoat nothing, and basically just show people like this is what it's like. So I think that's, at least for me, it's worked out better than when I just sit there and just kind of stand in front of the camera and I talk, and this is a Burmese python, and there, what I'm saying. So um, I'm converting more to a vlog style, so just really just kind of like a daily vlog type thing is what I'm actually planning on doing now. And just kind of just showing off like, update this and what I got going on and plans for this and just different types of things going around in the shed.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So like me personally, I don't really like make.
I'm here.
Okay, bet. Yeah, like me personally, I don't have a ton of experience in like making like the animal content, like structured animal content, like what you make and like what others make. Most of my social media content is either like reels of snake that I just like record my phone, or pictures of the snake, or the podcast stuff. And so I haven't gone through that process as much, but I do want to do like other stuff. And so it's good to have like other people's like insight on that and kind of like what their
Yeah.
process looks like. I definitely want to do more things though.
I think as far as that, it's gonna come down to, like you said, they always say you gotta have a story to tell. For me, it boils down to what type of content do you want to be known for? What kind of content do you want to make? Because I will say, is as much as I do record videos, I got probably like 3 days worth of videos that I haven't even put out yet because I've made errors. Like I can't tell you how many times I've had to start over videos and to get it right. And I think that's again another part that we don't talk about. It's like out of all the videos I ever put out, maybe like 5% of my videos I've got right on the first try. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it takes a lot of effort because you say something and then you're like, oh shoot, I should have said it this way. Or you say something else and you're like, dang, I probably should have said that. So it's like it's a lot of give and take, and it's a lot of really trusting the information that you have to put out there in the world that people are going to receive it the way that you're saying it. And I think that's really the key. You can literally say anything, but the times we live in now, people can take it and twist it. So you have to be able to say it in a way to where people know that you're not trying to be malicious or say anything crazy. You kind of just have to know what you're talking about when you say it, basically. Because I've definitely had people get on my YouTube. I could literally say, Burmese pythons are one of the largest snakes in the world, and somebody will find a reason to argue with me about it. And it's at that point, I just don't respond.
Yeah, I agree, man. At the end of the day, man, you no matter how you go about it, how positive and whatnot you try to be, it's gonna be somebody that you rub the wrong way or
At least
get
one or
pissed
two.
off. Like it's whatever, man. And you can't really focus on that. You just got to do what you're doing. If you got confidence at the end of the day that you doing what you're supposed to do, and you doing the right thing, and you not trying to cause like no harm or nothing like that. You got to be confident in what you put out and just continue to do it, because at the end of the day, it's so many different personalities out there, so many different people out there. You putting yourself out there on a public platform, you know what I
Right.
mean? And so it's anybody can see it. And they have like that piece of content to judge you off of. And so they may make assumptions, this, that, and the third, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they may react to it some kind of way, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna make everybody happy.
And you know how you know me at that point. Excuse my friend, fuck them, because you can't please everybody, and that brings me to a point where I don't. That's the one thing I don't like about the reptile community in general is everybody feels like, well, if you're not doing it my way, you're wrong. You're a bad keeper, and it's just like we got to cut all that out. Like there are multiple ways to achieve the same goal. Just because my journey don't look like yours, don't make you better than me, and don't make me, better than you. It's the simple fact that people need to worry about what they got going on in their own backyard. You know what I'm saying? So just like
Exactly.
worry about what you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I got this over here. You may
And
not
just
like it,
because,
and that's cool. Keep scrolling. I don't care. But at the end of the day, I got a full-time job. This it's not paying my bills. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now, and it's crazy because now that I'm out of that, like I said, now that I'm out of that mindset where I was like, man, I want to be a content, I want to do this, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. At the end of the day, it's like I still enjoy making the content, but now I'm not so gung ho to be, oh man, I don't have this, I don't have that, I need more followers. I don't care. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, the right people are gonna follow you for the right reasons. The people that fuck with you gonna fuck with you, and that's all you can worry about. So if you got 10,000 followers, why are you worried about 2 people that don't like you? Keep it moving.
it don't
You know
make
what
no
I'm saying?
sense, bro.
It
It
don't.
makes no
So
sense.
and that's something I got to keep repeating to myself because we're human. Every now and then, somebody is gonna get under your skin, and as a human, you can't help but to react. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to keep reminding yourself, hey, it ain't the end of the world. These people ain't the end all be all. These people are just comfortable behind their phones, and that's just what it is. And
Yeah,
even
you
I've
gotta
had
keep
people
trucking.
talk shit to me on social media, and they see me in person and don't say nothing. Cool. As long as you keep doing that, we're good. But the moment that you cross that line, different story.
Yeah.
So
It's a
I just
different
try
set
to
of circumstances then.
I just try to keep myself humble always. Some people don't think I am. That's okay. I don't care about people's opinions. I know me, and I just try to focus on what I got going on, and that's really it. Because if I'm constantly worried about what's going on over there, there's no way I'm handling my business over here.
Exactly, man. You got to keep your eyes on the focus, right? You got to focus on the grind and just worry about that, because like you say, man, if you constantly looking at something over here, over there, when you have time to look at what you need to be looking at, so you can focus on your stuff, you know what I'm saying, instead of focusing so much on what somebody else doing. Like I tell people all the time, man, I'm not competing with nobody in anything but myself. You know what I mean? I want to be better than I was yesterday. Tomorrow I want to be better than I am today, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what motivates me. That's what drives me.
I couldn't tell you how many people thought that was in competition with me. Now I'm over here. Meanwhile, I'm over here making fucking skits, being funny. Like, I don't care if you thought it was a competition. I'm over here. I'm over here making skits from Remember the Titans to make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm making Sugar Mama skits. Like it. I don't care what you got going. At the end of the day, it's fun and I'm enjoying myself. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people just get so caught up in what they think they got going on or who they think they are that they forget, why they got into it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it becomes a problem. And then we got gatekeepers and we got people who just think that they're better than everybody, and it becomes too much. But once you learn how to lock in with yourself and you know who you are and you know how to avoid those situations and those people, good. Because
Absolutely,
honestly,
man.
no matter what hobby you in, you're gonna run into them. You just gotta learn how to ignore them. And again, as long as them people stay in their lane, you can talk all the trash you want. Say what you want about me.
Exactly.
Cool, cool, cool. As long as you don't come right here, we won't have a problem.
Exactly, man. You just got to focus on you, man, because at the end of the day, it's you who determining your destiny. You know what I mean? And all this, I'm competing with you. I'm competing with this person. I'm competing with
Right.
that person. Like at the end of the day, man, don't none of that stuff matter, man. Just focus on what should be motivating you, which is the passion, which is the animals, which is perfecting your craft and all that good stuff, man. Don't be focusing on what other people doing. Like folks will be sitting trying to compete with you on some humbug stuff when we ain't even playing the same sport. You just think we playing the same sport.
And the whole time, you don't even know. You over here minding your business. And then you see some slick shit, you like, wait a minute. They talk about me. But it's like you be so, but and even then, like, there's definitely been a few situations where I've seen some stuff said about me, and I'm just like, delete, keep it moving.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the time, man. It's
because in that sense, you bringing a whole bunch of negativity your way. You're getting caught up.
Exactly.
It is what it is. Talk away. Yeah. If talking about me entertains you and makes your day, I support you, and I will be here Monday through Friday.
Yeah, please be the best version of you.
As long as I'm the topic of your conversation, you're doing my job for me.
Facts.
I might send you a check for marketing.
Facts, man. Like it's so much more beneficial, so much more rewarding to focus on like the positive things, man. There's so many like opportunities out there, so many doors opening with positivity on the other side of that threshold. So why not focus on those?
And I mean, especially when you set out to do something, when you have goals, you stick with those goals, no matter how long it takes you. As long as you stick with them, you're gonna meet them.
Facts.
Getting caught up in the other stuff, it's not gonna help. It's just gonna take you off your path, and then you're gonna have to figure out how to get back there.
Exactly. Hey man, we're gonna take a real quick sponsor break. Big shout out to the sponsors.
Known for his innovative approach to genetic shed testing and top quality ball pythons, Grey Rider Reptiles also excels in exceptional customer service and responsiveness. With a quick turnaround time, Charlie ensures you get the service you want and need. Visit shedtesting.com to explore his offerings and experience the best in the business. Don't miss out. Head to shedtesting.com today and unlock the power of your breeding projects.
Peace and love, family. We invite you into the heart of our serenity, Ancestral Royal Pythons. At Ancestral Royal Pythons, we're not just breeders, we're nurturers of love and growth. Each of our high-end ball pythons is a tribute to the grandeur of the natural world and our dedication to quality. Reach out today and bring one of our creations into your home. This is Ancestral Royal Pythons. Your journey begins here.
Here's to the exciting world of Ebony and Ivory reptiles. From unforgettable parties and events to keeping and hatching some of the dopest reptiles in the reptile hobby, we're all about education, quality, integrity, and respect. Hit us up and see how we can help make your next project a reality. Experience Ebony and Ivory Reptiles, where fascination meets fun.
Ebony and Ivory Reptiles.
Big shout out to the sponsors, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all giving everybody a follow and supporting with your dollars too, man. Really appreciate them sponsoring us, and we appreciate y'all. So earlier, bro, you mentioned like Burns versus Retics, and I know that you were team Burn, but kind of break down like kind of why you're team Burn versus team Retic. And I know you still like Retics and whatnot, but why do you prefer Burn?
Yeah. So definitely team Burn. I think the biggest reason I don't talk about it is that's what I was raised around, Burns. Now I had a cousin who had huge Burns. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the first big snake. I was like, oh man, like that's a dope animal. And although, you know, by that point I wasn't scared of snakes anymore, I just knew it was a snake that big because that snake it was female. She was like 14 feet. I know what a snake that big is capable of. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like it's the first big snake that I saw up close and personal. So I was like, wow, like that's amazing. And then once I got older and I actually got hip to, you know, the reptile community and the expos and everything, and I was like, I got access to this, you know, and it was just like I had to wait for the right moment, the right time for me to be able to handle one. But and like I said earlier, typically, not always, but typically, berms are, just more laid back than retics. I love how, they just kind of just are curious. My retics love to be on the go. All 5 of them. They're not sitting still for nothing. My berms, they're going to lay back. I got 3 berms, 5 retics. And retics get a little bit larger, so that can be a con for most people. And berms are a little heavier, but I think they're both dope snakes. Me and Nicole, Lady Tiz, shout out to Lady Tiz. We go back and forth every now and then. She's like, you team retic now. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Don't do me like that. So
you got more retics than berms, though. I wasn't gonna say that.
That's partly her fault. You know what I'm saying? Because I got 2 from her. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's going to change here soon. And the reason for that is I do plan on breeding berms, and I want to, I don't want to get so many berms that I don't got room to have baby berms. So I do got the pied berm. So the pied berm is, the one I plan on breeding and everything like that. So, and then the retics I use for the educations. People are like, you're not going to read? No, I do those with my education events. Like the one I just did a couple weeks ago at a festival. I take the snakes out, and it's always a big hit. People love taking pictures with them, spread awareness. People are literally saying things to my face like, that snake's gonna wrap and kill you. And I'm literally, sitting here petting her on the chin, and then just like making them feel stupid, like, well, why ain't she biting you? So it's like I get to, actually, I get to actually prove people wrong, and tell them to, back away from the TV a little bit, and chill. So, but berms will always be like that's my favorite large snake. But if we're talking overall snakes, blood pythons all day for me, hands down. Python bronger is it's my favorite species because obviously this is my first snake, but you get a large snake without it being too much. And I tell a lot of people, like, they are the python version of boas, in my opinion, because they get similar size, they're a little heavier, but the way that they strike, if they're gonna strike at you and try to bite you, they use their entire body. They throw their whole body at you, and they are very, very powerful. But they're, just like, specifically Dumeros boas, they're ground dwellers. So they're more of burrowers. They like to, hang out on the ground, and they'll literally sit there for days in the same spot.
Yeah, that's dope too that you're doing like the education piece of it. That's super important, man, because it's like you say, it's so much like misinformation out there about reptiles in general, particularly snakes and stuff like that. And so the more education you can get out there and kind of like show people a different side of it, the better.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know about you, but me, a lot of the flack and things that I get is from our own people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the black people don't do this. You don't do that. I don't do stereotypes. I do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was up to them, we'd all be sitting on the porch with our pit bull chained up eating some watermelon and chicken. Like, no, that ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a huge community of us that actually like snakes, and we're trying to literally change that narrative. And honestly, the whole stay exotic was the whole point to the younger generation. Don't tell people what you should and shouldn't be doing. Be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Why can't the next, forest explorer to educate us be black? Why can't we have more black veterinarians? We can, but we're so scared because of what our culture thinks of us. Fuck all that.
Yeah,
do what you want to do.
Be
you
different.
Know what I'm saying? It's like, have fun doing it, because regardless, my family did not care for what I wanted to do initially. It was like, my mom is not my camera woman. Those pictures I posted, my mom took over. She still ain't never touched the snake, but hey, that's like my lifetime goal right there. Like, before anything, it's like, get a Bolin's python, hit the lottery, get mom to touch a snake. That's top of here. You know what I'm saying? But she's definitely made a lot of progress, because before she couldn't be in the same room.
Yeah.
And now, I've taken pictures with her with the snake on my shoulder and everything. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you stay true to that grind and people see how true you are to it and how serious you are, and follow suit. And I think, honestly, that's the rewarding part of it. The only reason I'm on social media is to just reach more people and to show more people, like, hey, these animals really ain't that bad. Y'all got to chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, educate yourself about it. So it of course it doesn't always go the way you want it to, but out of 5 people, if I can get 1 or 2 to change their mind, I'm okay with that because that's where it starts.
Yeah, and those 1 or 2 people might change 1 or 2 people's mind each, and so on and so forth, and it starts growing. And it's super important to get that growth.
Every time I go to these big events, it's like I'm an anomaly. They'd be like, "Oh, you tripping?" And I'm just like, "Go ahead and just pet the snake." Or like I said, I'll take out my big girl, Cardi B. She's my biggest snake. She's 10 and a half foot retic, and she's still got some growing to do. And I'll take her out, and they see how chill she is, and they're just like, "How?" I'm just like, "Look, it's just like any other animal. Once you get them to trust you, and they realize you're not going to hurt them, they relax." I said, just like you can read your dog is barking out the window. That means something outside, and he's trying to let you know. You know what I'm saying? Or your dog is whining, or something's wrong. You got it. Snakes aren't vocal, at least not to that degree. But if you can read snakes' body language, you will understand better why they operate the way that they do. So a lot of people, when I do TikTok live, there's another thing. You gotta get into TikTok live. That's dope too. Why isn't the snake biting you? Or how do you know when the snake's gonna bite? When I'm on camera on TikTok, I'm not looking at the phone, I'm looking at the snake. Because 9 times out of 10, it can be my calmest snake, but you never know what triggers a snake. It can be anything. So that's why I'm just like, I show them, and the best thing you can do is just show them an example. And once people see that what they thought was real isn't real, blows their mind. And that's the best part about it, seeing people overcome their fear. Because 9 times out of 10, you go to an event, at least 80% of those people are terrified of snakes, especially the big ones. The small ones, cool, it's a small snake, but take a big one, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, like it wasn't that bad." And I'm so confident in how I deal with my animals and how I bond with my animals and everything like that. I'm right there, but here, you can hold this snake by yourself. This is a 10-foot snake. I'm trusting you to hold it by yourself. I'm gonna guide you to do it properly. Make sure you listen to me. Don't grab the snake by the head. Let them hang on your shoulder. Put your arms down by your side. You can pose. You can move. Good to go. And once they realize that, they're like, "Okay, wow, you're really good at what you do. You really know these animals." Yes, because a lot of it is letting the animal just be itself, and you adjust to them. A lot of people try to get the snake to adjust. No, you have to adjust to the snake, and that's just the type of method that I use here. Like when I hold my retics, burn whatever. Be a tree, because they're going to climb on you. So hold them. My white lip, she'll go all up here, do whatever. I don't try to constrict her. Let her do her thing. And if you try to constrict her, that's where the problem comes in. And a lot of people just don't understand that. They fear what they think the snake is going to do versus actually looking at what the snake is doing. And that's how people get bit, because you try to stop it from doing what it's naturally going to do. And to them, you squeezing me, okay, you're a predator. I don't like this.
Yeah.
They're gonna bite you.
So have you ever talked to anyone like specifically about like what kind of drives their fear of snakes?
I've had like casual conversation with people, and most of it is the Bible and just misinformation. I posted on my story a couple weeks ago that I actually wanted to do a live debate with somebody on Instagram who I would prefer that's heavily religious and is scared of snakes, because a lot of what they believe in religiously, although it's their religion, doesn't make it right. And a lot of them don't understand that. And I wanted to have just like a good debate about like, okay, I understand, but I'm a very facts over feelings type of person. Yeah, I understand you feel that way, but that is not what it is. That's your reality, but that's not the truth. And I ain't got no takers. But 9 times out of 10, like I talked to like my sister, I did a video a while back where I let strangers come in the reptile room, which is probably one of my favorite videos. My sister, a couple of my cousins, a couple of my friends, and they came and they held snakes. And every single one of them had never held a snake before. My sister was the only one that was scared, so she used the glove for one of my baby boas, but she did it. And it was like, she told me, she's like, initially, I just figured every time you touch a snake, it's going to bite you. That's just what I, was conditioned to think. And she's like, after seeing the movie Anaconda, I was like, oh my God. How did we grow up together? You know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things where I get it though, because everybody's interpretation of things is different. So that's one thing that used to frustrate me, because I used to get irritated, like, how y'all be scared of snakes? And it's just people interpret things completely different. You know, me personally, I took getting bit as a snake as a challenge to understand and learn this animal, whereas most people take it as, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be more understanding and try to use the same methods that I do with the snake. Try to understand why they have that behavior to get them to a certain point. And, you know, one person at a time. That's how I look at
it. So you mentioned you was going to get into breeding berms. That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you in terms of like what of the species you keep now were you planning to breed at some point, if any. But let's start with the berms, and if there's any others, feel free to chime in on those as well.
Yeah, berms, white lips, and I do got IMG boa. I do want to breed. I got 2 IMG boas. So I definitely want to breed. You know, that'll be my focus: berms, white lips, and IMG boa specifically.
Okay.
So I think those are
white lips and IMG boas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how many IMG boas you got?
2. I got 2 males.
You got 2 males?
I got 2 males. I do have a female boa for my smaller IMG, but they're both still babies. My larger IMG boa, I don't have a female for yet, but yeah, I do plan on breeding him eventually.
Yeah, IMG, that's my favorite boa morph.
Yeah, I can pull one out for you. Got one right here, actually.
Like the one that I got, man, he is so black and iridescent. Like he got like one, like by his claw, he got like one little white spot. Outside of that, bro.
This is the bigger one. This is my pure IMG.
Oh, nice.
And he's got the nice red eyes. My other IMG, I just fed him earlier, but he's the solid black one. He's IMG Motley. But he's, like I said, he's just your regular IMG. So he's still got that tail pattern and everything. But he's about to go in the shed. But yeah, so he's actually breeding size. But I don't have a female for him yet. I'm not in a rush. Definitely not in a rush. He's only about 3 years old now.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll definitely see, you know, where we get in the future, but definitely got some plans.
And I can't remember if I asked you this before, but I like to ask this to a lot of people that like keep a bunch of different species, particularly those that like breed different species, because like it's nuance with breeding like a different species, or species to species is nuances with the breeding. I know you don't do like a bunch of the breeding like yet, but it's still the keeping part too, and it's nuanced there. So talk about some of the challenges with kind of like balancing the husbandry requirements with each of the respective species that you keep.
Honestly, there really isn't too much to it. The room I keep pretty warm. I try to keep the room at least between 76, 78, depending on what it feels like outside. Lately, since it's getting colder out, keep it on the higher end, like 78. I would probably say the biggest challenge is the bigger snakes. That poop is crazy. You know, like the birds and the and even the anaconda. The anaconda is the one snake. You get fresh water daily. She's going to use the bathroom in it as soon as you put it back in there. And you know, I talked to some of my other anaconda keeper friends, and that's literally all have the same problem. And I have a yellow anaconda, so they don't get as big as the greens. They get typical boa size. So she's a female, so she'll probably reach about 12 to 13 feet. Where the greens get huge. They get like 400 or 500 pounds. But what you trade for in size, you get an attitude, because she is not nice. Not nice. But again, it's one of those animals where it's like, I use as an example to where it's like you can try to bond with every single animal that you want, but when you have a large collection, you're gonna have at least one that's not gonna go for it, and that's okay. Like just because you have an animal that doesn't like to be held or like something, that don't mean you should get rid of it. Just respect that animal for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you knew before you got the animal what it was capable of. So because you got the end that you don't want, doesn't mean you should just get rid of it. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll pull her out and I'm like, oh shit, like it's challenge, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I still deal with her. I just don't put her in front of the camera as much because she attacks my phone. So like when I get on TikTok, people are like, why don't you take her out? You scared? First off, I don't do nothing for clout, and I don't do nothing because y'all want me to. I care about the welfare of my animals. And if she bites my phone and she messes up her mouth, then I'm gonna have a problem with that. So at the end of the day, I'll open the doors and show her, but she usually charges. So I'm like, goodness gracious, but it's still one of those things where it's like, that all have different personalities. Whether you think they do or don't, they all have their own individual personalities, and it's not an advanced personality, but they're gonna show what they can, the best they can. And she's showing me she don't fuck with me like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to your point, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest nuance is, literally. So I went out of town last Saturday. So Thursday, I went through and cleaned every single enclosure because I knew I was gonna be gone for the weekend. And I had, somebody come by and check, make sure they had fresh water and everything. But he called me and was like, "Did you clean the big girl's cage?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" He was like, "Bro, she got a whole pile of poop in here." I was like, "Bro, I literally like fresh substrate." But the thing I do like about her, she always poops in the corner.
All right.
So I was like, "Good God!" But she's on pigs now, so I was just thankful that didn't come out at the event. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought she had already passed it. She had gave me a pile like a week before that, and she hasn't had any food since because she's on pigs. So obviously, you got to space that way out.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Good God!" But I mean, I'm telling you, like, it looked like a pile of mastiff poop. I'm like, "Good God!" Like, it took me. You met me. I'm a small dude. I don't have the biggest hands, especially for a guy. So I had to do one of these, scoop it twice. Like it was a lot, you know what I mean? So, and there's always people like, "Why do you wear gloves?" That's the reason I wear gloves. I keep them on deck. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't. I'm not about to. Like it ain't no small stink where you can just go in there and it's already dry. You pick it out. It's still this dookie. It's still wet. This sitting there looking like a pile of melted Hershey's. You know what I mean? Like whoa. So, but that's all of the big steaks, even the ones that aren't huge, they're at that point. Like the calories that she does. And don't get me started on the blood python. They don't poop often, and when they do, they go like Kato poops once a year, and when they poop, they poop. They poop. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why are you like this? You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because you can tell. Like when I come in here, you can smell it. And it's like not stinky, but it smells more like ammonia almost. And then when when he poops, his back end looks slimmer. I'm like, he went to the bathroom. All right. So typically, I just make sure he has fresh water. He'll soak in it. But it's one of those things where it's like that was when I got my blood python. The breeder told me like when he gets older, do not be alarmed. They don't use the bathroom a lot. That is normal. So, as babies, they'll use the bathroom regularly, and the older they get, it becomes less and less because their metabolism slows way down. So I even thought, pooping twice a year, I was like, dang, and it was, he eats jumbos. Not quite as bad as the retic, but homie does a number.
Hey, he got to feel good as heck afterwards, but he got to that was a relief.
So that's why I keep the bleach water and the F10 on deck because the bacteria, you let that sit, it gets bad. And then, like, let's say it's summertime and I can't get in here when I want to, and I come in here because sometimes, I'll be out here 2-3 in the morning cleaning. If I can't sleep, I'm out here, I got music. Like I said, I got Wi-Fi so I can post content. I'm just out here getting to it. I remember one day I actually had to, I didn't have to work, but I had like a bunch of appointments and I was dealing with my daughter. And I laid her down to go to sleep and I came out here and it was like everybody just dropped. And I'm just like, yo. And it's the dead of summer. So it's still pretty warm outside, but it was just funky in here. So I was out here for like a good 2 hours just pulling poop, cleaning cages, pulling poop, cleaning cages. One of the snakes had pooped on the wall, like on the side. So it was just smeared. I'm just like, God, like stuff like that. But as far as actual husbandry, I don't really have any issues or problems with that.
Gotcha. Well, bro, told you I wasn't gonna hold you like super long, whatnot, because I guess we're gonna be getting that hurricane weather here in the next few hours. So I definitely want to make sure I have time to get everything wrapped up around here, get to the house, and also get this edited and uploaded while I still got power and internet. Man. Right. So I appreciate you coming through, hollering at us. Is there anything else you want the viewers or whatever to know? Or
no, man, I appreciate you having me on. If you don't follow me yet, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the Snake Gawd. And shout out to my boy Mike at Herp Collectors, one of the best podcasts around. Check them out.
Appreciate you, bro.
No doubt,
yes, sir.
bro.
I appreciate you coming on. It's always a good chance chatting with you, man. Just getting to kick it, chop it up, man. If I ever make it back up to Columbus, man, I have to come holler at you too.
Absolutely, bro. I'm here.
For sure. And definitely hope to see you at the show in the very near future. Maybe AnimalCon.
That's the plan.
Yes,
Yes,
it was dope, man. I had to give you a call and talk to you about it more, but man, it was super dope. I had a blast,
sure,
man.
Yeah, hit me up.
Dope. For sure, man. Everybody listening to this, appreciate y'all coming through, man, rocking with us. Big shout out to all the supporters, all my Florida folks. You might not see this like this week, given like the weather and stuff like that, but man, I hope everybody stays safe. Definitely appreciate everything. Until then, for Clutch Conversations, I'm Mike. The lovely lady behind the scenes is the car. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Peace.
I step up in the spot, they know the deal. Chillin' with that thrill. From the bottom to the top, I'm the king of the hill still. Eyes on me, feel the heat, it's a thrill feel. Got that shine in my hand, man, it's giving them chills still. They wanna taste, they wanna see what's in my sleep. Believe, got that fire in my grip, yeah, they need the fiend. No counterfeit, no tricks, just the realest mean. Pure and uncut, got them down, dropping to your knees, freeze. It's that glass, baby, crystal clean, pristine. Make you wanna dive deep like you living in a dream. Got them hooked on the vibe like an addicted fiend. This that glass, baby, you know what I mean. In the night it glows, whole place lit, can't quit. Every eyes on me, they can't handle this shit. Hit, feel the rush, feel the push, yeah, it's too legit bliss. Once you get a taste, ain't no way you'll quit this. Pure like the rain, cold like the snow. Yo, they crave for the touch, yeah, they wanna know. Dope, what's the secret mojo? Got that perfect glow, Take a hit of this life, let your worries go slow. That glass, baby, crystal clean, pristine. Make you wanna dive deep like you living in a dream. Got them hooked on the vibe like an addicted fiend. This that glass, baby, you know what I mean. They come from miles around just to get a glimpse. Whispering in the dark, making deals with pimps. Got that high grade shit, make the whole world limp. Glimpse, I'm the dealer of dreams, call me the main event set. Ain't no fakes, ain't no lies, it's the realest deal. Chill, got them looking for that glass, yeah, they love to feel real. I'm the plug, I'm the source, got that golden seal. This that glass, baby, now you know it's real. This that glass, baby, crystal clean, pristine. Make you wanna dive deep like you living in a dream. Got them hooked on the vibe like an addicted fiend. This that glass, baby, you know what I mean. In the end, they all come back, craving more and more. Once you get a taste, ain't no closing that door. I'm the king of the game, hear the lion roar. This that glass, baby, and it's what you're here for. In the end, they all come back, craving more and more. Once you get a taste, ain't no closing that door. I'm the king of the game, hear the lion roar. This that glass, baby, and it's what you're here for.
Subscribe, follow, rate, and then review.